All right, let's go back to the spin room now, where Ed O'Keefe and Caitlin Huey-Burns are standing by with Tom Steyer. Ed?
Thank you, Elaine. Mr. Steyer, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What did you make of tonight?
Look, I thought this was the most spirited debate. I thought we didn't spend as much time going over the same ground again, and we got to talk about some new issues, which I really appreciated. I thought the moderators did a great job.
You know, I noticed you said that at one point, like, why are we discussing this again? You can appreciate that millions of Americans may only now be tuning in and have not seen episodes 1 through 6 of the 7 debates you guys have held, so that regurgitating some of this might actually be useful to people who are just starting to tune into all this, right?
I understand that, but I'm running for a specific reason, and it deals with this. I'm running because we have a broken government, because the government's been bought by corporations, and if we're going to get any of these healthcare prescriptions, if we're going to get anything like the Green New Deal, if we're going to get new education policies, first we're going to have to break the corporate stranglehold on our government. And I've been fighting those corporations successfully with coalitions of American citizens for 10 years. And I listen to those policy debates, and I want to say, look, of course we all want these things, you know, affordable health care, quality public education, clean air and water, living wages. We all want that. The American people all want that. Everybody knows that. Why aren't we getting it? Broken government. And so why don't we talk about what it's going to take? Because once we get back our government, we're getting all that stuff.
Can I ask you about something that happened right at the end of the debate? The cameras lingered on stage there as you all were saying goodbye to each other, and it looked like you walked up on something awkward going on between Senators Warren and Sanders. Did you pick up on what they were talking about there?
I was really just trying to say goodnight to both of them, that it was nice to see them, and they were having a conversation that I didn't really hear, and I said goodnight and moved away.
But you could tell that the body language was a little awkward, right?
I think they were trying to figure out something between the two of them, but I didn't really hear what it was.
I can only wonder what that might have been.
Yeah, that clip is going around, so you didn't hear anything.
It was like the kid walking in on an awkward conversation between his parents. That's what you looked like there.
Well, they are a little older. That's very rude of you to point that out. I would never do that.
Do you expect to make it onto the next debate stage at this point? I mean, you're polling somewhere in the single digits here in Iowa. I mean, clearly you have the resources to continue on into New Hampshire and beyond, and you're doing well in South Carolina and Nevada. But do you expect that you'll make the thresholds?
Polls are really funny. They move a lot, and we're starting to get close. If you actually looked at the morning consult poll, which is just another poll that came out yesterday,
yep,
it had me at an average of 15% in the 4 early primary states, and I was in 3rd place. The polls are going to move. You know, I believe that my message of broken government, I'm an outsider who will take it on, who believes in term limits, that I'm the only person who will make climate my number 1 priority, and that I can take Mr. Trump down because I have the economic business experience to expose him on the economy as a fake and as a terrible economic president. That message, when people hear it, people respond to, and they have responded since the first day I've been in the race, and they continue to respond to that. So everyone acts like these polls are etched in marble, but actually 60% of early primary voters said they don't know who they're going to vote for. So they're going to move somehow. And from the day I got in, my momentum has increased, and it continues to.
But what do you say to voters or critics who say that because you're able to spend a lot of your own money on this race, that you have been able to kind of buy your way onto the debate stage by being able to run ads? We see you on TV all the time. We're seeing you a lot on billboards here in Iowa especially. What do you say to those critics?
I say, look, it's about the message. That, in fact, you can't buy somebody's vote. The only thing that can happen if you have a message that's different, that it's important, and people believe in you as a person. So, in fact, if you look what I've done, I spend every day trying to get face-to-face with as many people as possible. You know, the place where I have done the best polling has been in South Carolina. We have the most people in the field in South Carolina. We have 82 people in South Carolina. I've been there multiple times, looking people in the eye, saying what I'm for, saying why I'm different. That's the only way that anyone can really win in this. And if you look, it's people with a message who have actually been doing it.
So do you think you're going to stay in until at least South Carolina? Can you kind of outline what your path looks like? Kind of where do you have to place here in Iowa, for example?
Look, I think you guys love horse race. You know what I do? I really don't think that way. my attitude in this is I believe that I'm the person in this race who can beat Mr. Trump on the debate stage in the fall. I believe I'm different from everybody else in this race. I'm the outsider. Everybody else is a career politician. I'm the outsider. That's why I'm for term limits, and no one else will even use the words term limits. I'm the person who actually will deal with climate as his or her number one priority, the only one. I'm saying something very, very different, and my experience of both being an activist for 10 years and beating oil companies, stopping the Keystone Pipeline, stopping the last fossil fuel plant proposed in California, beating tobacco companies and getting a $2 a pack cigarette tax passed and giving them money medical. I have a different history, and I built a business for 30 years, and nobody else has anything like my ability to talk about growth, job creation, and prosperity. And so if that's what it's going to take, which I believe it is, because that's what Mr. Trump is running on, then people are going to listen, and that's all I'm focused on. I'm not sitting here trying to be, the jockey in a horse race. I'm someone who's sitting here trying to rally the American people to take back our government and save the world.
You, in our remaining moments here, remind us where you're headed next and how you plan to exploit the fact that some of your opponents will be stuck in their chairs in Washington over the next few weeks. Where are you going to be in the absence of the senators who have to be back in Washington?
I'm going to be on the ground talking to people face to face in the 4 early primary states. I'm going to be here in Iowa, traveling around. I'm going to be in South Carolina, traveling around. I'm going to go to Nevada and travel around, and I'll be in New Hampshire. In all 4 of those states, we take them all incredibly seriously, and my goal is to make sure that I see people as much as I'm a grassroots person. I started one of the biggest grassroots organizations in the United States. I wasn't writing checks. I was going door to door. I was registering voters. I was holding town meetings. Look, that's what I do. That's what I'm doing.
All right. Tom Steyer, good to see you again.
We'll
see you soon.
To be
good to see you. Thank you so
very
much.
Take care, sir.